Hi, I'm Paul, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to master your YouTube learning with AI summaries and Obsidian timestamps. I'll demonstrate how I organize this information in my Vault and provide a dashboard for easy access. This method will transform passive viewing into active learning, helping you retain valuable information. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools and knowledge to turn YouTube into a robust learning platform, integrating seamlessly with your Obsidian workflow. Join me as we learn how to take effective notes on YouTube using Obsidian. Download Starter Vault options. Before we dive in, consider grabbing my free Obsidian Starter Kit Vault from my Ko-Fi page to follow along with the video. Alternatively, you can support the channel by purchasing the Obsidian YouTube Video Notes Pro Vault, which includes all the plugins, templates, dashboards, indexes, and code snippets mentioned in this video. Installing community plugins. First plugin we're going to install will be called Dataview. Yours will say install, so just click install, then enable. Dataview is going to allow us to create index pages and display our YouTube notes in a nice gallery style layout. This will be similar to our bookshelf. The next one's going to be Templater. Hit the install and enable. The Templater plugin is going to allow us to automate property data into our YouTube video note template. The next plugin is going to be called Folder Notes. Be careful here because we have a Folder Note plugin and we also have a Folder Notes plugin. So Folder Notes has been updated 2 days ago. However, Folder Note hasn't been updated for 3 years. They essentially do similar things. We want to go and make sure we've got folder notes, hit the install, then enable. The folder notes plugin is going to allow us to create a folder note, which will be used as our index page for all our YouTube video notes. The next plugin is going to be called the Quick Add plugin. Hit the install, then enable. The Quick Add plugin is going to allow us to automate assigning our YouTube video template and organizing the note in the correct vault within our second brain. It's also going to help us take notes on our video faster. The next plugin is going to be called MetaBind. Hit install, then enable. This plugin is going to allow us to create a play pause button in our YouTube template note. This play button will be helpful to start and stop our video whilst we're taking notes. The last plugin is Media Extended. So Media Extended is going to allow us to take some notes about our YouTube video inside Obsidian without having to step out of the application. This is going to be good for laser focus. Now we have our community plugins installed and you will see them here on the left-hand side. We have Templater, Quick Add, Folder Notes, MetaBind, Media Extended, and Dataview. Setting up your YouTube note template. We're going to go ahead and prepare our YouTube note template. To do so, we jump into our toolkit, navigate down to templates. I'm going to open up my YouTube video template. You can see here I've got a few headings. I've got a heading for Media Extended, and we'll cover this plugin later in the video. We have a heading for timestamp notes, and that's going to work in conjunction with Media Extended. We've got the usual best ideas and tools, which we have from our book notes. We have a section for a reflection, and we also have a section for AI summaries. If we open up our YAML properties at the top of the note, you can see we have a few properties inside the template. These include the date added, the tags, the status, the source, the creator, the channel name, the video URL, the month, the quarter, the year, and the rating. Keep a little icon of a star in our template so that we can just copy set the rating when we enter the template for a new video note. So we'll close our properties, and the last thing I'll go through is this little play pause button here. So if we just look at the syntax, we can see it's using the meta bind button syntax. We've got the label here, play pause. We can put an icon in if we like. We can hide the button or just set it to be visible. We can give it a class. We can give it a tooltip, an ID. We can set the style. If we look at the actions, we can see it's a command action and it's triggering the media extended toggle play command. So we'll go through this later in the video on how this works. I'll go ahead now and show you the template source code. I will provide a copy of this template in the video description. So we'll close up our templates folder, we'll close up our toolkit, and we'll close our YouTube video template. Now we'll move on to the next section. Create your dashboard and index pages. We'll now go through how to create our index pages as well as our dashboards for our YouTube video notes. Navigate to the Vault folder, go down to your YouTube folder and right click and go down to folder note commands. Because I already have a note for this folder, when you do yours, you'll need to create a markdown folder note. Because mine already exists, I'm just going to hit the middle mouse button to open the note. So we can see here I have my landing page for my 39 YouTube video notes inside my Vault. If we jump into the source code, we can see I've got a little map of contents. I've got a link to a YouTube database. Then I've got a little jump menu here, which goes to all my YouTube video notes from A to K, L to V, W to Z, and finally a gallery. I've given it a unique name of my YouTube watch list. Then I've got a call out to explain what this section of the Vault is. So this section of my Vault contains all the notes taken watching YouTube videos that have caught my interest or attention. Under the Vault index, I have a Dataview query, and it's listing all the notes from this location here, which is the Vault and folder YouTube. And I've got a couple of conditions here to exclude particular files. So if I just expand this folder, you can see I've got a folder note for the Healthy Gamer, where there's 16 notes in this folder, but I don't want to show that note, so I'm hiding it by putting in a file.name doesn't include Healthy Gamer. And if I start creating folder notes for other channels, then I can exclude those from the index as well. I'm sorting them by their name ascending, and I've got a limit set to 90. We render this back out, we can see it gives me all the names of the YouTube notes in my Vault and how many days old they are. So you can see I've got a recent one here, Stable Bit Drive Pool. So this is a Windows disk drive pooling software that I've recently been installing and configuring on my computer. We can toggle the Vault index out if we want to make it a little bit less crowded. Before we jump to our YouTube videos A to K, we'll hide our left pane and we'll hide our right pane. Now we'll jump into our YouTube videos A to K. So this is just a basic layout. It's highly customizable and it's utilizing a Dataview query. So we'll jump into the source mode. You can see I have a link back to the YouTube index page. I have a link to a YouTube database page. Then I'm referencing the YouTube watch list jump menu. So if we just open up this page, we're gonna stack our tabs. So if you want to know how to stack tabs, all you do is you click your little down arrow here and then you go stack tabs. I've got a little commander shortcut here for toggling stack tabs so I can go between views. So you can see here this YouTube hash caret my YouTube watch list is referencing this block here. So whenever I make a change here, it's going to update over here, just putting in the word test. And now when we render out this one, we can see the word test shows up there. And when I remove it, it disappears over this side. So we'll close that off. We'll go back to the source mode. So we can see we've got a table without an ID, and that just stops the name of the file being put in the first column. So then we can choose to put the rating in the first column. So you can see here I've got rating, video URL, file, topic, creator, tags, status, and date added. And that's these properties here. I'm pulling these from my Vault folder from the folder YouTube, where the file name is greater than 0 but less than the number 9, or the file name is from the letter A to the letter L. I'm excluding 3 files, which are these files here. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm having rendering issues on these 2 files here. And the issues that I'm having is this file, I forgot to actually record the URL of the YouTube note. And this one, for some reason, won't let me put an iframe. I actually have to go to YouTube to watch the video. So there must be some sort of region restriction on this file. I'm also excluding the Healthy Gamer GG, which is this note here. And then I'm sorting everything ascending. And that gives me my 10 YouTube notes. So we'll take a look at Anxiety in Today's World by Dr. K. It's a fantastic channel. So we can see up the top here, we've got our properties, and these properties, some of these properties are being pulled into our Dataview query, such as rating, video URL, the name of the YouTube video, our topics. We also have the iframe to display our iframe over here. And I've slightly modified it to a width of 500 and a height of 280. Got the date added here and the tags. Down the bottom, I've just repeated a bit of the metadata. This note was actually taken on paper when I was watching this video back in March this year. And I just did a few dot points, which I added here. And then you can build on these notes later to distill them to make them your own. So we'll jump back over to our gallery view. So over time, you might want to display your videos in a video clips gallery, similar to how I've got here. And you can do this by utilizing the CSS classes that are available in the minimal theme. So you must be using the minimal theme in order to use these CSS classes. So if I take out cards, that's what it looks like by default. If I place cards back in, it gives me a nicer column layout. You can see I've got cards cols 5, which gives me 5 columns. I can have up to 8 columns with this class here. So if I want to change it, I just put in cards cols 3. And now you have 3. Now you can see I've only got 10 here. So if we jump into the source code, you can see I've got my YAML at the top here. I've got my jump menu, which links back to my first page YouTube. Then I've got my Dataview query, and I'm just pulling video URL as video URL from Vault YouTube, where the file name doesn't equal YouTube database, or this file, How to Be Happier in 5 Steps, Laurie Santos. And I've excluded a few more files here as well. And I'm only pulling in files from A to M, and I'm sorting that ascending. I'm limiting the amount of videos I'm showing to 20. And as my gallery grows, I might want to show more, I might want to show less, or I might want to spread it across multiple pages. So the idea here is I don't want hundreds of YouTube notes having to load their iframes on the one page. Over time, I'll start adding some navigation down the bottom here to cycle through to the next page and back again. So I quite like cards cols 5, so we'll stick with that. As your YouTube video clips gallery grows, you may want to spread it out over multiple pages and add it to your jump menu. To do that, hit the Control P, type in make a copy of the current file. That's going to make a new copy, and this one's just going to become your YouTube video clips 2. Or you could call it whatever you want. Make your changes here. So this might be from M to Z or something similar. Now you might want to put a navigation at the bottom. So to do that, I'll go into my bookshelf. I'm just going to borrow the navigation from down here. So I'll put that one in there. So the previous page will be this page here. I don't have a next page yet, so I can either just leave that blank for now or take it out completely. So now I have a navigation at the bottom to go back to this page here. And we'll just go back. So that's going to take me back. And then if I want to go forward, change this one to YouTube video clips 2. So now I can go between my galleries. Another option is to create a button, and I can do this using the Meta Bind plugin. So I right click, go down to Meta Bind, select button, and it's going to ask me what type of button. I'm just going to go next, hold down the Windows key and hit the full stop, choose the right arrow. Now it gives me a preview down here. Why I don't do that in the icon is because it doesn't work. I can change the style of my button, can make it destructive, plain, or primary, and you can add your own custom CSS here. You can put a tooltip on there if you like. I'm going to give this one an ID of 1, and I'm going to hide it, and then it's going to ask me what type of action. I'm going to say open. I'm going to add that action, and it's going to ask me what file I want to open. I'm just going to insert that one. So now I have a hidden button, so we can see that by doing the source code there. So I'm going to do the same for the previous button. So I'm just going to copy this and hit paste, and then I'm going to go previous, and I'll change the icon to the back arrow, and then I'm going to keep that one hidden as well. Keep everything the same, but I'll change the ID to 2. So now I've got 2 hidden buttons, 1 and 2. Then I'm going to come down and I'm going to go Meta Bind inline button. Then I'm going to change this to 1. Now I have my next button. Then I'm going to copy that same one, paste it, but this time I'm going to put 2, which is going to be my previous button. And now I have a previous and next button. And then I can put that in a call out as well. So we'll go back to our source code, and we want to open for the next button in this link here. And we want to go back to this one for this one here. So now I have my 2 links to my 2 galleries, and then I'll just copy this and then I'll render. So now I have my next and previous, so I can go to the next note and then paste my buttons down here. Now, because my code isn't in here, I need to add that code as well. See how it doesn't render out. So I need to go back to this page. I need to grab my hidden buttons again and then paste them here. And now I have my buttons back again. So it's a lot more work to do the meta bind because you've got to hide this in the source code in order to call the buttons. It's up to you how you would like to set yours up. So if you're interested in downloading a copy of this concept, I'll leave some links in the video description. Choosing a topic for our notes. Before diving into our YouTube video note, let's first reflect on the topic by asking ourselves a few key questions. Does this topic inspire me? Is it personal? Is it surprising? Or is it useful? Once we have confirmed that the topic meets these criteria, we can begin researching it using free AI summary tools to deepen our understanding. This is going to save time and weed out any time-wasting videos. As we review our note-taking system, the following step after identifying the media type is to create a literature note within our personal knowledge management system. This is going to be our YouTube video note. Let's now walk through the process of capturing a YouTube video note and integrating it into our Vault. My topic today for this video is going to be what network attached storage device should I use to back up my local data? I've already done a lot of research and come up with 4 options to choose from. The first option was the option that I was currently using, which was Windows 11 storage spaces. This is included with Windows. It's relatively easy to set up. It's flexible to mix drives. It has resiliency like mirror, parity, duplication, and it's cost effective. However, I discovered that some users were reporting issues with data corruption or loss. You also couldn't just remove drives from the pool. You had to remove one drive and then move the data from the remaining drives to another drive and then reformat the disk in order to use it as a normal hard disk. So this got me thinking maybe I should look at other options. This led me to option 2, which was purchase a Synology or QNAP NAS. These NAS devices are pretty user-friendly. They have versatile applications. They have data protection. They're scalable. There's lots of community and support. They're energy efficient. However, they're expensive compared to other solutions. They use proprietary hardware, which limits upgrades. It has performance limitations compared to building your own system. And it's also dependent on the Synology or QNAP software. You pay a premium for slower hardware for the same price. Plus, I would have had to have gone out and spent almost $800 to get something decent. So this led me to option 3. I had an old Ryzen PC, which was being used as a media PC. And I thought, well, why don't I turn that into a Linux TrueNAS or Unraid? I get the advantages of the ZFS file system. I can use TrueNAS Core for free with enterprise grade features, or I can just pay a small price for Unraid. And then that gives me flexibility with adding more drives and using Docker and virtual machines. However, it's a bit overkill. I would have had to have reformatted all my hard drives in order to set the system up. So I didn't really want to spend all that time. As much as that project interests me, it's not my focus at the moment. My focus is Obsidian. It's providing good content for you guys. So then I stumbled on option 4, which is StableBit Drive Pool and Scanner. This software made by StableBit is simple to use, it's flexible, it's efficient, it's relatively easy to set up a virtual drive, there's no data loss, the license is a one-time fee, it provides enough features to move my data off a drive if it looks like it's about to fail, and I can also duplicate my data across multiple drives, which means I don't have to micromanage my data, which is going to mean I can focus on my Obsidian notes. The only cons I could find was it's a little bit slower than Unraid and TrueNAS. StableBit Scanner does consume resources while scanning, and it's also software based. So if anything were to happen with StableBit, then you lose support. Having chosen my NAS backup solution, I needed to go to YouTube to learn more about StableBit Drive Pool and Scanner. And that leads us into researching with our AI summary tool. Researching and exploring AI summaries. The first AI summary tool is called Glasp. It's a free Chrome extension that summarizes your YouTube videos and also allows you to highlight transcripts. So once you've installed the extension and pin it up the top here, simply click and it reveals this little sidebar, and you can turn it on or off on YouTube. You've got a little settings cogwheel here, and then you can go into the settings, choose what type of highlight you want to use. So you can have different colors, or you can just highlight the text. You can also choose a light or a dark theme. So I like the dark theme, so we'll choose that one. Then you've got a AI model here. So by default, it's on ChatGPT. You can select GPT 4o, or you could select Claude or Gemini, or you could put your own custom GPT. We'll just leave it on the default for now. Select your language here. You can customize the prompt for the summary. So by default, it summarizes the following in 5 bullet points, but also provides some more detailed information that might be useful for learning. And that's what I've put in there. You can set up to 3 follow-up prompts. And there's a few keyboard shortcuts down the bottom here. So we'll jump back to YouTube. We've got our StableBit Drive Pool video that we've found on YouTube. Now, it's a 22-minute video. So I just want to scan to see if it's got anything relevant. So with the Glass plugin, I've got this little widget up the top here. If I click it, it expands. I'll just hide this little sidebar. And you can see that I've got a couple of things highlighted here. I can take this away by clicking the cross. And if I want to highlight a section of the video, I can highlight it like that. Now I can read the whole transcript here, and it gives me timestamps as well. I can click the time to go jump to the time in the video. If I don't want to read all this, I just want to get a quick summary before I watch the video. I just hit this little summarize video. It's going to take me into ChatGPT, paste that transcript, and then it's automatically going to give me 5 summary points on the video. So I can see straight away that Stable Bit Drive Pool is a Windows-based drive pooling solution that allows me to combine multiple disk drives into a single volume or drive letter, making it easy to manage and access large amounts of data. It also supports stripped, mirrored, and enhanced features for better data distribution, and it's able to handle drives with existing data. Now you notice when I highlight that, I still have my GLASP tools here. So I can actually summarize outside YouTube as well. So I don't need to be in YouTube to use the GLASP. I can highlight here as well. Then I've got a point about the ease of use. So it's user-friendly, it supports NTFS. Software includes a 30-day trial, and the setup's straightforward. I have data protection features available. I can duplicate files and folders across multiple disks. It's flexible for recovery. If my system fails, Drive Pool ensures my data remains accessible. Already this sounds great. I'm going to learn something and potentially find a solution to my problem. So I could highlight all this and paste it into Obsidian. We'll jump back to YouTube. You can see I've got an option to copy a transcript as well. And then if I go up to Glass, navigate to my dashboard, it puts a copy of my highlighted notes on my dashboard. Now, the free version does make these public, so other Glass members will be able to see your highlighted notes, but I quite like how it tracks when I highlighted the note. It doesn't support dark mode, so you will need to use a dark mode if you prefer. I can copy my highlights here. I can add it to my favorites. I can also delete it, and I can leave my thoughts here as well. So it's a great AI summary tool. So that leads me to the next AI summary tool, and that is NoteGPT. This one also doesn't have a dark mode, so you will need to use a dark mode extension if you prefer. I'm just going to paste in my video and generate summary, and that's going to go give me a transcript as well. I also get a summary built in, so I don't need to go out to ChatGPT to get my summary. And then I can copy that into Obsidian. I get some nice emojis here as well, which is quite nice. I quite like the mind map feature. What this will do is it'll just create a nice little mind map of the summarized video. It does have a watermark there, but you can still get a lot of information out of there, and you can download it as an image, which might be handy to put into your Obsidian Vault. You could essentially build a mind map with Excalibur or Obsidian Canvas. There is an AI chat where you could ask anything. So I could ask that a question. Can you please break down all the steps in setting up Stable Bit Drive Pool mentioned in the video? It doesn't give me much information that's going to be very helpful. The next tool is a GPT called Video Summarizer, and then select Video Summarizer, then select Start Chat. And then you can just say, summarize the steps and tips in this tutorial. It's going to go out to thegeneralmind.com, and then it's going to give me all the information from the video. And I can copy this into my Obsidian note. So the last AI summary tool is called Recall. And don't worry, it's not the creepy Windows Recall. Recall allows us to summarize any online content and save it to a knowledge base where it's automatically organized and interlinked for easy rediscovery. Now, this is a paid product. I'm very excited about what they're doing. However, there are some restrictions. We can see there is a free forever plan where you get 10 AI generated summaries. So that's just great if you just want to get a quick summary and then take it into Obsidian. You do have unlimited in-app knowledge cards, which is also quite nice. However, as soon as you start doing more summaries, you're going to have to pay $7 a month for those summaries. So I think a lot of people may get value out of the Recall Plus plan, but for now, I'm just going to go through the free plan. So we jump back into our YouTube video, and this time we don't have a widget for Recall. We just have this little button up here, which says Recall this page. So I just select the Recall. It's going to summarize all the content for me to my Recall account. And then if I want to go view that in the app, then I select this one here. And that's going to take me over to Recall. So from here, I can see it's got the creator at the top. It's got the name of the video. It's got the timestamps with each section of the video, and it breaks each section down for me. It gives me links to what's talked about in the video. It's also got links of products that have been mentioned. I've got a few text tools down the bottom here. I can export this as a markdown file. So that's going to be quite handy to pull into Obsidian. So one cool thing about Recall is the knowledge graph. It works a lot like the graph view in Obsidian. So you can see down here, I now have a little graph view of my AI summary. I can also do like a Recall review, and it's going to allow me to quiz myself, and that builds over time. So that's pretty cool. So I can see that they're borrowing concepts from Obsidian, and they're trying to create a paid product to support this idea. So I think if they incorporate more of these features into the free options, it would be well worth the value. So now we have all our AI summaries. Let's jump into Obsidian and start building our YouTube video note. Building and creating YouTube video note. The first plugin we need to set up is the Quick Add plugin. We need to set a command to create a new note with our YouTube note template, and then we need to drop it into the YouTube folder here. Not only is this going to save time applying the template, but it's going to organize the note prior to us entering our notes. So to do that, navigate to the settings, go down to Quick Add. You can see here I have a new YouTube note. Clicking on the cogwheel, we can see I've got a macro set up called new YouTube note. Under the macro, I have two actions: enter YouTube note title and enter YouTube URL. You can change this to your own name if you like. So start by putting in new YouTube note, choose macro, select add choice, click the cogwheel, click the plus button to create your new macro, select the cogwheel, and then we want to select template. Select your cogwheel, give your template a name. We'll just call this one new YouTube note. It's going to ask us for the template path. It's going to ask us whether we want to set the file name format. We do. Then we're going to put in a variable called value. And what this is going to do is it's going to ask us to enter a value, and we're going to put the name of our YouTube video. We want to organize it into our Vault YouTube folder. We need to hit add, and we want to open it as soon as it's created. So that's step one. Step two is going to be to paste the YouTube URL into our YouTube note template. And this is going to allow us to start taking timestamps with media extended. So to do that, hit capture, hit the cogwheel, call this one enter YouTube URL. We want to capture it to the active file that we just created on the previous step. And then we want to insert it after, and we want to put in media extended as a heading 5. So what it's going to do is it's going to drop the YouTube URL underneath the media extended heading. So we'll close that. That's really all we need to do to set up our quick add. If we open up our YouTube video template, we can see we have our media extended heading here. So that quick add command's going to paste our YouTube video here. So we'll just test to see if this works. I'll grab the title of the video. To launch our new quick add command, Control P, type in quick add, run quick add. We have our new YouTube note, select that. It's going to ask us to enter the title of our note. So we'll put the title, select OK. Next, it's going to ask us for the URL. Go back to YouTube, grab the URL, paste the URL, close our template here, and we can see now we have the name of our YouTube video and a URL of the video here. For our gallery, we will need to put an iframe up here. To do that, hit share, embed, copy, paste your iframe in, put 500 and 280. We can then fill in the rest of our YAML here. Status in progress. Source is YouTube. Creator, HT, wing, not. Channel name is the same, and you can put a link to the channel there if you like. The YAML has pulled in our month, quarter, and year. Put our rating by copying our star. And then topics is Windows, Drive, Pull, Backups. And then now we can start taking notes on our YouTube video. So before we go ahead and start taking timestamp notes on our video, we'll just go quickly set up our media extended settings. Navigate to the cogwheel, go down to media extended. The first step is you want to open the browser and select YouTube. Then it's going to ask you to sign in. This is helpful if you have a premium account and you don't want to watch ads. Don't change any of the settings here besides the screenshot format. I usually like to keep that as a JPEG, and instead of putting it in the attachments folder, I'll usually specify a folder in my toolkit images folder here. So we'll go create that now. So now we have our folder created. We'll enter it here. So now any screenshots are going to be placed into this folder here. So the default link click is the new pane to the right, and there's alternative behavior here to a new window, or we can go default Obsidian behavior. At the moment, there seems to be a little bit of a bug here where this doesn't actually work, and there's a spelling error here for alternative, and there's also a spelling error up here for browser. So hopefully the developer fixes this in a future update. You can select your default quality here, depending on your internet connection. So now when we left click our YouTube video, it loads up our video to the right hand side here. So you can see because we're not signed in, it's going to load up some ads. So what we want to do first is we want to right click and pin our video, close our right pane and also our left pane. Now we've got a little meta bind button here. I like to watch my video on the left hand side, and I can do that by just clicking and dragging. You can see here it's loaded what looks like a YouTube window. So if we go here and say always open YouTube as iframe, now it loads it in the media extended player. I'll pin this video, I'll move it to the left hand side. Now with my meta bind button, I can play the video. We can click the star here. It places it over here in this media note, which is not where I want it. This is something I don't like about this plugin is if we close this, it has this little media note that it creates here with our timestamp. But what if you want to enter it in your template here? Well, what you can do is you can set up a hotkey. Come over here, go to hotkeys, type in media extended, and then scroll down until you find take timestamp. And you don't want the one in media note, you want this one here. So hit that one, set up a hotkey. For this tutorial, I'll just use Alt X, but you could do Alt T if you wanted. I find that's a bit of a stretch with your finger. So Alt X, close that. I could also create a button to do that as well. But I've got my play pause button here. I'll just put my cursor there. I'll play the video.
Now, Windows natively has options for this, so I'd like to go over that first.
So I'll just pause that now, and then I'll Alt X. There's my timestamp, and I'll just put in introduction to Drive Pull, and I can change the speed here. So if I want to play the video at 1.5 speed, I can play it here, which is quite handy. So we'll just scrub through the video.
Basically just combine them into one big disk. Different types of pools.
All right, so that's talking about Windows storage spaces.
Or to install it to a different than the default location.
That one's about installing Drive Pull.
And then your drive pull letter actually becomes, it automatically assigns a drive letter.
So you get the idea. I can quite easily just manually go through and make the timestamp notes that I would like, as opposed to using the AI summary. Got a section here to build out some best ideas and tools if I want to. So I can bring in my AI summaries down the bottom here. I quite like the summary for recall, so I'm just going to export as Markdown. I'm going to open up this file with my notepad. Control A, Control C to copy, and then I might put in source recall. I'm just going to paste all that information in here. I might give that a heading, 3 lines, separates it. Only thing with summaries is You don't retain the information as well as you would just following along with the video, but you can scan through and grab the information that you need if you would like to. I could go another step further and grab the mind map from here. So I'll download it here and then I'll copy it into my Obsidian note. Now I have a mind map. I think besides that, I do also like the summary that NoteGPT puts out. So I'm going to copy this, put that one here. So now I have a pretty good literature note to work with, and I could start distilling this note and building my own note from it. So if I hit Control N to bring up a new note, and then Control P, insert template, insert my distilled note template, going to change this to stack tabs. I don't need to pin my video anymore, so I'll get rid of that. So now I have my distilled note over here. And then I simply just take all my notes here and start distilling the note over to the right-hand side to get all the information that I've learnt from my YouTube note. So another option is, instead of a distilled note, I could use a learning note, and this would use my learning template. So instead of creating a distilled note, I'd launch quick add, run my new learning note, put in the name, stable bit, drive pull, setup. Now I have my new distilled learning note ready to take all my information from my YouTube video and start building out the steps that I need to take in order to set this up. I hope this video has provided you with a fresh perspective on taking notes from YouTube videos. With the right community plugins and a bit of effort, you can easily organize your YouTube learning and summarize content using AI summary tools. I'd love to hear about your own methods for taking notes on YouTube, so feel free to share them in the comments. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more tips and tricks. If you found this video helpful, consider sharing it with a friend who might benefit as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.